Today I'm here to teach you how to create an icon set of your own right from scratch in Adobe Illustrator. So I suggest you to grab a cup of coffee because by the end of this tutorial you will be able to create one for yourself. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Before starting the tutorial, I want to show you the end product. These are the 12 icons that we will be making by the end of this video right from the scratch. So before you start any icon set, I want you to think about your end goal. I want you to sketch the process. Sketch each icon as you go. I have provided these icon stencils for you to use in your workflow along with all the icons that we are going to make today. The end product, they are all available absolutely free of cost in a link provided below on my website. So if you want to follow along, please feel free to download the same. When you sketch your icons right with a pencil and a pen, you will have a clearer idea as to how to go about your icon set. So I have sketched these icons to make these. So to create vector icons by taking a reference from the sketch is far more easy than to have an imagination and construction of your idea along the way. That gets a little confusing. So take 1 minute each for each icon that you want to draw in your set, or follow along with my icons and my sketch so that you get around the idea first and then let me know when you make an icon set of your own. Let's get started. So now that we have our sketches ready and we have imported them into the computer, we will open the Illustrator and we'll create a new document. Now we are going to go with these dimensions, which are 1024 pixel width and 1280 pixel height, with the other color settings as these. Create. Now we will go to File, Place, Desktop, and we will grab our sketch and drag it like so. Great. And we will go to the Layers panel and lock the sketch here so that we can use it as a reference to convert the sketch into vector icons. Then we will go to the Artboard tool. After choosing the Artboard tool, we will press on Option and click and drag the artboard across. If you want the alignment to snap according to the height of the previous artboard, click on Shift. So like now, it will not be able to snap wherever it wants to, but once you stop clicking on Shift, like stop pressing on Shift, it can go wherever it wants. So Shift comes in handy a lot. Do that. And there we go. Now I want you to go to the File option again, go to the Place and choose the empty PDF that I provided earlier and place it here like so. Take the Shape tool, long press for the ellipse option, and I want you to drag, open an ellipse, but you should click on Shift, so now the proportions will be constrained. It will be a perfect circle, otherwise it won't be, so click on Shift for that. And if you want your circle to grow from within, from the center point, then click on Option. So if you click on both Option and Shift, your circle is going to grow from the center and grow from and just maintain its proportions. So the proportions will be constrained. So now I want you to find somewhere a center of this circle, click on Option and Shift and make a circle. So we don't need a fill here. We'll have a stroke of 1 point. Go to the Move tool, move the circle around like so, and there we have it. Now let's make the heart. So let's make the first icon. So for that, what I would still do is I would because it's coming in our way. So what we'll do is we will take this linked file and we will lock it. So now we can freely work in our workspace. I will take you through the process of converting each of these sketches into vector icons one by one, so you can follow along and you can capture some nice tips and tricks. So let's begin by making the heart. It's a really cool tip here, hear me out. So you will go to the pen tool and take the reference of the sketch. So there's like, we have left 1 point here, so we will kind of leave 1 point here, and then we'll take it down. If you're noticing these pink guides, they're kind of telling me where to go. These are the smart guides. Click on V, which brings up the move tool so that it knows that we have entered the path of the pen tool. If you're not being able to see the pink guides, then go to your view option and turn on the smart guides. So for me, it's turned on. Now what I want you to do is go to the stroke option and fill like 1 pixel of stroke. So yes, go to your cap options and choose for a round cap, but for the corner, keep the first option intact. That's the mirror join, and that's all. So watch this. Click on Shift and with your arrow key, like the upper arrow key, keep on increasing the size and just see how beautiful and a heart it is making. So just don't go kind of crazy. I think we're good around 110 points of the stroke, and there we have the heart. So now what you'd want to do is go to the object option, go to path and choose the outline stroke. What it does is now you can scale the heart according to your wish. So now we have that out of question. The next is, so what we'll do is we will just take this circle, click on option and shift while we drag it, and just bring it down here so that we have like the same proportion going on. Now we will make this growth chart kind of a thing, and taking a reference from the sketch, we will take the line and move it around here. Click on Shift if you want it to be a straight line. Have a stroke. I'm gonna go with around 7 pixels, but I'm gonna have a round cap and a round corner so that I have a nice, if you can see, a nice round stroke. If you're not going to choose these options, it's going to be like a small tiny rectangle. So I'm gonna go with these, and coming back, rectangle tool, we will kind of zoom out. Alright, what we need is we are going to make 5 sections. So we're going to make basically 5 rectangles. So we will have one here like so, and we want the fill to be black, and we kind of don't want a stroke as yet, so we'll not want to have that. Yes, and there we are. So we will go to the move tool just to kind of see how it looks. It looks fine, and if you want, you can definitely kind of, I just think that I'm gonna decrease the size of the stroke. So yes, you can do all these things, like all this little tweaking along the way, but we're gonna do that at the end as well. So I am just going to go and click on option, drag with shift, and make like 3, 4, 5 copies of this. Amazing. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the height section. So this is 108. What I'll do is I'll unlink this width and height, and I'm gonna have it around probably 96. This one can be 88. I'm just filling in like random numbers just to have that slant going on. So what we will do is we will go to the shapes tool and we will pick up the star tool. If you will drag open it, so you can, what you can do is you can make a star with it. But what I'm doing is I'm just you know, increase, like I'm just using the arrow keys to increase the spokes of the star, or that's what we call it. So we're going to just keep it till here, and we will hold shift, so it's like that, and we don't need the fill, so we will not have it. We need the stroke, we need a black stroke, probably like so. So we'll have 5 points stroke, keep it over here, and drag it like so, drag it down, scale it down, I mean, with, you need to hold shift, so because that's really helpful, and kind of a little bit more. Don't worry about refining it just as yet, because we will be, you know, taking our time to refine it later. And what I want to do is I kind of want to just kind of leave it here, and we want like another triangle. So what we'll do is we'll click on the option key and make another triangle. We'll go to the direct selection tool and we will click on this anchor, and we will click on this anchor, and since we don't want it, we will click on this remove selected anchor point, and we'll do the same with this. This is a really cool trick. So you click on this anchor and you press shift and you press the right, you know, right arrow key, and it will bring it in. I have clicked 2 times, so I'm going to do that same amount of, okay, no, yeah, that's it. So now I'm going to drag it here, and we kind of have that nice inner triangle going on. But I have realized that I want to make it more, you know, smaller, like more shrinked. So I will go to the direct selection tool again, click on the anchor point again, and kind of bring it in. 1 increment is enough. So I think I like that. Okay, perfect. So we will now leave it here like so, and what we can do is we can go to the stroke option and we can convert the strokes to rounded edges. So this kind of makes it more smooth, finishing more smooth kind of, and that's it. So now what we'll want is we will, for the upper portion of the diamond, we will go to the shapes tool and we will select a rectangle. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a rectangle like so. Alright, I think you might have guessed it, and yes, you're right if you did. I'm going to go and select direct selection tool, select this anchor point and smoothly bring it in, and the second anchor point, smoothly bring it in as well, and probably going to choose this path inside, and perfect. It is so cool, I love it. Probably gonna make it a little bit smaller. Yup, amazing. So this looks really nice, and of course let's just scale it a little bit so that it's more like, I think we're almost there. Good. So now what I'm going to do is I am just going to take this, and just as I did with the triangle shape, I'm going to duplicate it. Good. Now what I'll do is I will go to the direct selection tool and I will select this portion and I will bring it in. Oops, just a second. So we need to kind of take it away from it and then go and select these two. So now we will bring it in a little bit, and similar with these points. So now let's place it inside our shape and see how it looks. Awesome. It's looking great. But I think we need to increment a little more, but this time what we will do is we will choose the anchor point below, and sweet, we will bring it in. Awesome. Isn't that so amazing? Who can guess that we have made this shape only with triangles and rectangles? It's awesome. So now we will go on to make our fourth icon, which is the pencil icon. So now you know my tricks. Let's just grab rectangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a straight pencil, and then later on when it's made, I'm going to rotate it. So we have this here. Awesome. And now I'm just going to make like a basic shape. Let's take the star tool, which is going to bring up the... Don't worry about the angle as yet, because you can always go here and change it. So I can make it like 180 degrees. That's awesome. Bring it down here and scale it like so. I think we need to scale it a little bit more, and there we go. Good. So, alright. What we're gonna do now is we need what do we need? Let's go back to the sketch. So that is why the sketch is important. So now what we'll do is we need to add these little details to the pencil. For the front part of the pencil, what you're going to do is you're just going to duplicate it with Option and just make it like really small, like that. Probably fill it. And now take this tool, put it right in the front, and that's it. So that's the lead of the pencil. Just kind of make it there. And what we're going to do now is we'll choose the line tool. Probably make a line like so. Amazing. And we can make a line over here as well. Although I always recommend using geometric shapes for doing your icons, but this can be a nice thing to do. So, okay, this is a little bit... I think that looks kind of nice. So even if you kind of want to make it like that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag over this whole selection, and I'm going to go for Command G. So now it's a whole group. So for now, I will take the corner and drag it like so, and there we have the pencil, looking nice and sharp. Great. So let's quickly make the rest of the icons like so.
Now I'm going to fast forward the process of making these sketches into vector icons so that I save you some time and you can quickly go through each and every icon with me. If you still have any doubts, I'm going to leave all the ways to contact me through any social media that you're comfortable with, and I will be more than happy to help you with anything.
After making all the icons, now we will put each icon on their separate artboard. But before doing that, we will add in the colors. So I have chosen a color palette from a site called Coolers. There are a variety of places where you can find nice color palettes for your icons, but for me, I have chosen this color palette right here, and you can save them, name them whatever that you want. And then I have exported all the color palettes in my library. So now I will be going one by one to each of the icon to fill in a color. And we don't want a stroke, and we will take the shape and fill it with white. I think that looks lovely. Similarly with all the other icons, probably take this color and remove stroke like so, and we will change this to white and the strokes color to white as well. There we go. So now I am just going to quickly fill color in all these icons till you see. Another thing is you want to center the icon inside of your circle. So what we'll do is we will select the icon and then we will select the shape, and we'll click on the shape one more time and then go to here, align center, and that's the perfect center. Similarly, select these two by clicking on shift. Now remove your hand from shift, click on the circle below so that it becomes the reference point, and then click on centering the icon. So you can manually kind of adjust it a little bit if you want, so that's completely fine. So I'm just going to go quickly fill in the color in all these circles and icons, and I'm going to fast forward it. Meet you on the other end. Now we have filled in the colors for each icon, and each icon has been resized to 125 pixels width. As you can see in multiple icons over here, the width remains 125 pixels. Very easy, just select an icon and select width, fill in the width whatever you want to, but make sure that the link is on so that it gets resized proportionally. Now what we will do to export these icons is we will have to make artboards. We will make a separate artboard for each icon. So for that, basically we have three types of icons. So one is 64 by 64 pixels, second is 32 by 32, and third is 16 by 16 pixels. Mainly 64 by 64 is the biggest size that we need for Retina display. So we're just going to drag an artboard and we will fill in 64 pixels here, 64 pixels, and we're going to unlink it and we will put 64 by 64 pixels. So there we have it. We are just going to drag with Option and Shift so that we have these 12 artboards. Amazing. Now what we will do is we will pick up our icon and drag it here. we are going to resize it to 64 pixels. And there we have it. Nice and centered. Amazing. We are going to do the same process with the rest of the icons, and we're going to bring it here, make it 64 pixels, adjust it in the artboard, and so on. Additionally, as we saw that when the icon gets resized, the stroke size might be a little bigger than what you expect it to be. So in that situation, what you can simply do is just reduce the size of the stroke. Now, let's quickly export our icons. I will be telling you two ways to export these icons. One is by exporting it as web, and the second is by SVG. So we will export the icons as SVG, as PNG, and for web. So before doing that, I want you to go to the artboard tool and to name all your artboards according to the icons that they contain. For example, over here, it's globe, it says globe, and over here it says heart, like that. So now let's go to export, save for web. Over here you can change the dimensions, you can change every other aspect. Over here we will go to a preset of PNG 24. So for that, so by doing that, we will be preserving the transparency, that means the background. We will save it. Let's save it on the desktop. Icons final. Icons. Save. So we will go and save each and every icon like so. Let's do another icon. Save for web. And all these settings are intact. Save. Name it charts. Save. So as I said, you have to name the artboards. It will come handy now. The second way to export these icons is by exporting them as SVG. So let's go to icons final, use artboards, all, and that's it. Yes, all these settings. Okay. Let's go here and see our icons. For example, we open the chart icon. There we go. And the third way to export is as PNG. So this is pretty cool. Use all the artboards. See, since we have named the artboards, it's coming really conveniently. Export, and there we are. So let's check our PNGs. Awesome. So there we have it. Amazing. Let's check another one. Awesome. So now we have our SVG, PNG, and we have our web saved as well. You can save the Illustrator file as it is, and you can use it, tweak it later, just according to your wish. There we go, your icons are ready.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in more such design tips, tricks, and resources, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. And if you liked this video, hit the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing. Thank you!